Hey guys, hello everyone and welcome to the channel. Welcome to the next video of Aptitude for CSIR NET series. In this series, we are taking questions from the Aptitude portion of CSIR NET exam. Today's video is about circles and chords. Now, regarding circles, like to be precise regarding the whole geometry, there are a lot of questions which are asked in CSIR NET exam, but we'll try to cover that in different videos. So here I'm just going to talk about circles and chords. Okay, what are chords, what are the theorems related to it, how questions are asked. Why I have taken this? Because recently I have seen a lot of questions which have been asked from this circles and chords. Okay, if you know the theorem, you will be easily, like, you will be able to do these questions very easily. All right, so now without wasting any time, let's continue with our video. All right, so if I talk about chord, so if this is a circle, if what basically a chord is, so chord is any line which connects 2 points in a circle, right? So if I have point A and B which should be on the circle, and if a line connects them, that is called a chord. Okay, if this O is the center of the circle, and if there is a line which connects or which passes through this center, and if let's say this line is PQ, then this PQ is also a chord, but this has a special name. You know that it is going to be called as, PQ is called as a diameter. Okay, but remember that diameter is also a type of chord. Okay, that is also a chord. AB is a chord, right? So basically diameter is also a type of chord. So any line which connects 2 points which are on the circle, they are called as chord of a circle. All right, now if let's say if there was a line which goes just like this and which goes from O to, let's say, R, in that case this OR is going to be called as radius. I hope this all of you know. Okay, so it is very important to understand what is radius, what is chord, what is diameter. Diameter is the longest chord which you can draw in a circle. Okay, that can be drawn in any direction, but that is the longest length of a chord that can be drawn in a circle. There is no other chord longer than a diameter. Okay, so first thing which we got over here is that the longest chord which can be drawn in a circle has a distance of 2r, where r is the radius. Okay, so any chord which is of the longest length, that can be calculated. Just if you know the radius of the circle, you can multiply with 2 to that and you will get the value of longest chord. All right, now we'll talk about some theorems or some properties of these chords. Okay, so the first property of this chord is, if let's say this is a circle whose center is O, and if let's say there are two chords, there is a chord, let's say A B. Okay, and there is a chord which is, let's say, C and D. Okay, so these are two chords on this circle, and if they make equal angles at the center, what does that means? That means if the line joining A, O and B, if that angle, and the line joining C, O and D, if these two angles are same, then these chords will also become equal. So that is the first property of this chord. That means if the angle made by these chords are equal, then the chords are also going to be equal, and vice versa is also true. That means if the angles are if the chords are equal, they will make equal angles at the center. Okay, that is the first property which we have. Second property is that if this is the center, and if we have a chord which we are basically going to make over here like this, if let's say this AB is a chord, and if let's say there is another chord which is, let's say, C and D, and if AB and CD are equal to each other, that means if these two chords are equal to each other, then they will be at equal distance from the center. Okay, that is another theorem. So what does that means? It means that if two chords are equal in length, they needs to be equidistant from center. So if I call them as M and N, so if these chord AB and CD are equal, in that case OM will be equal to ON, right? This distance from the center to this chord and the distance from this center to this chord is going to be same. Okay, provided the chord should be equal in length. Okay, that is one thing. Now the next this is the second property. Okay, the third property which we have over here is that if you draw a chord, if let's say I have a chord AB, okay, and if this is the center of the circle O, then in that case, if I draw a perpendicular on it, perpendicular means something which has an angle of 90 degree. So if I draw a perpendicular upon it, let's call it as M. In that case, that will be a perpendicular bisector of this chord. Okay, what does that means? If OM is perpendicular to AB, right? OM is perpendicular to AB. In that case, AM becomes equal to BM. These two lengths become equal to each other. Now, these are three very basic things which you need to know about a chord of a circle, chord and a circle. Okay. Now, provided these three things, there are some advanced things also which you should know, which will make calculations and solving of questions easier. Okay. So, let me tell you those also. Okay. Now, this is the fourth thing which you should know based upon the previous thing which we have just discussed, that if I have a chord AB, okay, and if I have a circle over here which is center over here, that is O, and if there is a perpendicular which is drawn OM, in that case, and if this is the radius, okay, this is the radius of course of the circle. So how to find out the length of the chord? So if you are given with the chord and you are given with this, that this R is the radius, and let's say if this makes some angle over here at the center, this angle is, let's say, theta, this complete angle is theta, then the length of the chord can be easily calculated. Length of chord can be easily calculated using trigonometry, and that formula is, this will be length of chord AB. Okay, so length of the chord AB is given by 2r sine theta upon 2. Whatever angle is given, if it is 60 degree, so it will be 60 upon 2, that will become 30. So based upon that, you can easily find out the value of the chord over here. Okay, so this is the fourth thing. I know this is little tricky, but this will make your calculations much easier if you remember this. Okay, now the last and the most important thing about the chord and the circle, that is, if there is a chord AB, okay, and if it makes certain angle at the center, if let's say it makes some angle theta at the center, so if, so how much angle it is going to make on the circle? Okay, so provided, understand what we are doing, we are having a chord AB, that same chord is making certain angle theta at the center. So how much angle it will make on the circle, okay, on the circumference of the circle, that will be theta by 2. Now you can understand this as the reverse of this as well, and in that case you will say that if let's say this is a circle, and if there is a chord which is again AB, okay, I'm just taking the same property in a different way. If let's say it makes certain angle on the circumference of circle, let's say it makes an angle theta over here, so the angle made by the same chord at the center of the circle will be twice of it. So if it is theta, this is going to be 2 theta, right? If it was theta, it became half of it. So if it is theta, it should become twice of it. So these are 5 things, 5 points which you need to know regarding regarding the circle and the chord. Based upon these, you will be able to do most of the questions which are asked from circle and the chord. Okay, now let me take some questions and let me show you how to solve them based upon the properties which we have just seen. Okay, so this was a question which was asked in CSIR NET September 2022 exam. The question says that a chord AB of a circle subtends an angle of 30 degrees at its circumference, then the radius of the circle is. Now this question is based upon your last like property which you have seen. Okay, based upon that you have to do. So what it says basically is, there is a chord AB. Okay, let me say that this is my center of the circle, this is my chord AB. What they are telling, that it subtends an angle of 30 degree at its circumference. So it is making some angle of 30 degree at its circumference, 30 degree. So how much angle should it make at the center then? I told you that if whatever angle it makes at the circumference or at the circle, it should make twice of the angle. So this angle will be 60 degree. Alright, now you already know that this is a 60 degree and of course this is radius, like this length OA, and OB is also radius. That means this angle and this angle has also to be same. In a triangle, all the three angles becomes equal to 180 degree. If this is 60 degree and the other two needs to be same, let's say they are x and x, so if you add all of them, it should be 180 degrees. So if you calculate it, it will become 2x plus 60, that is 180 degrees, and you will get 2x is equals to 120 degrees, or x is equals to 60 degrees. So basically all the three angles became how much? All the three angle became 60 degrees. So you all know that if there is a triangle in which all the three angles are 60 degree, that triangle is called equilateral triangle. Alright. So if this is a triangle OA and B, I'm just taking it outside and showing over here. It's a equilateral triangle, that means all the sides will be equal to each other. So the radius of the circle is how much then? So this was the radius, it will be equal to each other, that means it will be equal to the length of AB, same as the length of AB, because this is R, this is AB, this is R, all will be same. Equilateral triangle, all the sides will become equal to each other. Alright, so this is how this question will be done based upon the last property which we have seen for chord and circle. Now let's take another question and let's see how to do that. Alright, so over here this was again a question from September 2022 exam which has just happened. It says that two parallel chords of length 8 cm each in the circle are separated by a distance of 6 cm. The radius of the circle is how much? Okay, now again to do this question, what we have to understand, that we have a circle. Okay, we have a circle, and now there are two chords of length 8 centimeters each. So if this is the center O, there are two chords, let's say the chord are AB and CD. Okay, and these two chords are to be parallel also. Parallel means they should not cross each other, or they should be parallel to each other, right? And the second thing is that both of them are of 8 centimeter and 8 centimeter. Now here you have to apply the other properties or other like theorems which we have seen regarding chord and circle. Okay, so how to do that? First thing is, we will apply the theorem that if two chords are of equal length, they are equidistant from each other, right? So it is telling us that the overall distance between these two, is 6 centimeter. But the theorem suggests, so the theorem over here, it suggests that if two chords are same, they should be equidistant from each other. So that means, if I come back to this question, that means if the distance from here to here should be equal to the distance from here to here. So if the total distance is 6, of course this is going to be 3 centimeter and this is also going to be 3 centimeter, right? Then only they will be equidistant. So one thing is done, that now we got that this is 3 centimeter away, this is 3 centimeter away from the center of the circle, because they were equal chords, so they needs to be equidistant. Now this much is done. Next thing is to find out the radius of the circle. Okay, so now here radius will be given by this. If I join these two, so OA is the radius, right? What you have to understand, you have to again apply one more theorem that suggests that if you draw a perpendicular, okay, whenever you find out a distance between two things, you always try to plot a perpendicular on it in order to find out the distance, proper equal distance, right? Or basically the accurate distance. So you have to plot a perpendicular. So once you plot a perpendicular on a chord, what happens over there? We have again seen in the theorem that if you make perpendicular on a chord, it bisects it, right? It bisects it into two equal lengths. So that means if I come over here, if the total length was 8 centimeter, so this length will be 4 centimeter and this side will be 4 centimeter. So now I have got a small triangle. I will call this point as M. So I will take this all outside just to show you, just so that we don't get messy over here. So we have O over here, A over here, M over here. The length from O to M is 3 centimeter. The length from A to M is 4 centimeter. Then the length from O to A will be how much? Simply we have to apply Pythagoras theorem, because this is 90 degree, this is a right angle triangle. So you know that the square of the hypotenuse should be equal to the square of the sum of square of the other two sides, right? So if you just do that, 3 square plus 4 square is going to give you 9 plus 16, that will be 25. That is OA square, or OA will be equal to under root 25. So this will become 5 centimeter, and that is the radius of the circle. So the radius of the circle is 5 centimeter. So this was again a question asked in September 2022, and this needs to be done like this. Alright, so this is the homework question for this particular video. The question says that a chord of length 5 centimeter subtends an angle of 60 degrees at the center of the circle. Okay, the length in centimeter of the chord that subtends an angle of 120 degree at the center of the same circle is. Okay, options are 6 root 2, 8, 5 or 5 root 3. Basically, you are given with a circle which has a chord of length 5 centimeter, that is making angle 60 degree at the center. You need to tell that if I make a chord of what length should I make a chord so that it makes angle of 120 degree. Okay, I hope the question is clear to you. So now let's talk about the solution of previous video, because in the previous video also I have given you one question to solve. In case if you have not watched that video, I'll give you link in the I button. You can watch the previous video that was on a different topic, that was based upon consecutive integers. Alright, so the question which I asked in the previous video was that sum of 5 consecutive integers is 335. What will be the sum of the largest and the smallest numbers? So in the previous video I told you that how to take the 5 consecutive integers. I told you that you should take them, that 5 consecutive integers should be taken as x minus 2, x minus 1, x, x plus 1 and x plus 2. So these are your 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 consecutive integers. This is going to be the smallest one, this is going to be the largest one. Okay, so how to do that? So it says that the sum of all of them is 335. So let's do that. So x minus 2 plus x minus 1 plus x plus 1 plus x plus 2, and this whole should give you 335. If I open the bracket, so it will be x minus 2 plus x minus 1 plus x plus 1 plus x minus plus 2 is equals to 335. Now this 2 and this 2 is going to cancel out, this one and this one will cancel out. You will get 5x is equals to 335, or x is equals to 335 divided by 5, which is going to give you 67. So this number is basically 67. So this number is going to be 66, and this is going to be 65, this is going to be 68, this is going to be 69. Now what they are asking is the sum of the smallest and largest number. Smallest is 65, largest is 69. So the answer is 65 plus 69, that is going to give you 134, which is option number A. All of you were able to answer it correctly. I'm very happy with that. So now that's it for this particular video. I hope you have understood the concept, and I hope you will be able to do the homework questions as well. So see you guys in the next one. Till then, have a great day. Bye bye. Take care. Hey guys, so Unacademy has launched a Revise India series. It is a free video series for CSIR UGC NET June 2023 exam. In this series, you will be able to attend free sessions by the India's top educators for CSIR UGC NET. These sessions will be very helpful for your CSIR NET preparation and for your June 2023 exam. So all you have to do is follow the link given in the description of this video. You will come up to this particular page. There are various educators whose classes you will be able to see. All these classes are free of cost, so you can watch these classes. You will be able to see the classes of all the subjects over here. So depending upon which subject you belong to, you can choose a particular class, a particular educator, a particular topic, and watch that particular class.